Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to talk about a very important and emergent topic, which is myopia progression. And we will see the different myopia control methods to which we can control the myopia progression, which is an epidemic. So let me share my screen with all of you. We will wait for a while. Okay. So here's the presentation, myopia progression. What is myopia and what is myopic progression? Is it really a refractive error only, or it's become a disease, or you can say an epidemic or pandemic in our future? So in this myopic progression, what we are going to see, that means that what are the objectives of today's session? First, introduction and prevalence of myopia. Second, factors affecting myopia. Third, theories and progression of myopia. Fourth, myopia control. So these four objectives we will understand in this presentation, and at the end of the session, we definitely will aware about these four particular topics. So let's start the session. First, what is myopia? So it is a type of refractive error in which the parallel rays coming from the infinity, which comes in the focus in front of the retina when accommodation is at rest. So this is the basic definition of myopia, whatever we are reading in our books. So the total eye power is greater than 60 diopter. Here you can see that in particular figure, the normal structure of an eyeball where the eye is completely metropic, where the parallel rays of light which are comes from the outside will focus on the retinal plane or a foveal plane. But in cases of myopia, the light rays which comes from the infinity will focus in front of the retina, which makes the retinal image blur. So the closest object looks clear, but distant object appeared blur in the cases of myopia. So the second one is the prevalence of myopia. So what is the prevalence? So as you know that in USA, 58% is the prevalence rate of myopia. South America is having 53% prevalence rate of myopia. East Asia is having 65% of myopia, and Europe is having 56% of myopia. So this is the prevalence rate of myopia in a global figure, where you can see that in 2050, the prediction is our 50% population will be affected by myopia. So in 2010, nearly 28% affected by the myopia, and in the upcoming 2050, 50% of the population will get affected by the myopia. So how deadly and the prevalence rate is increasing, you can see in this graphical representation. So this is the very danger circle where we are going to take in a very serious manner. Now, the factors which are affecting the myopia. First is age, then gender, genetic factors, ethnicity, environment and work related. That means our near work, reading, high literacy, accommodation, emmetropization, and undercorrection. So this all will affect in the prevalence or in the progression of myopia. So let's start one by one. Age. If we talk about age, the classification of myopia is considered into the four factors: congenital myopia, youth onset myopia, early adult onset myopia, and late adult onset myopia. So in this particular study by ARC Ophthalmology, you can see that the age group classification of child starting from 6 to 7 years, with 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, and 11 years, the number of years which is a visiting year increasing from 1 to 3 will also increase simultaneously the amount of myopic progression. So in the starting, in the first year, it's above all in the near of minus 0.5 diopter, with a very increasing rate which will go in the third year, it's minus 2 diopter. So this is the progression rate of myopia, and this also shows that how the teen age, particularly the growing age, will affected by the myopic progression. Now, second one is the gender. So progression of myopia tends to begin and end early in females. So basically the progression will starts and end early in the females as compared to male. As the study says in the arc of ophthalmology, the graphical representation will show that this particular circle is an indication as a male, and this triangle will indicate as a female. So this particular circle and a male and a female will have a progression ratio from 0.5 to approximately near to minus 1.5 diopter myopia with increasing years. So as the year passes, the amount of refractive error progresses. Now the genetic factors. 39 genetic loci have been identified in the human genome which may be associated with the refractive error and myopia. And the Sydney myopia study, which is a very famous study, found that the influence of one myopic parent was double the risk of myopia, while having two myopic parents increased that risk by 8 times. So this particular study reveals that the genetic consideration or the particular genetically affected patients will have a more prevalence of myopia if any one of their parents is suffering from myopia, or if both parents are myopic, then the risk will increase 8 times. Now, the another factor is the ethnicity. So the high prevalence in the Asian, Caucasian, and Hispanics, lower prevalence in white and African Americans. If we compare the population into urban and rural, urban population are mostly affected than the rural population in myopic cases. So myopia is more common or more affected in the urban community than the rural community, as the study says. So another factor is the environment and work related. Evidence of a link between the near work and myopia progression continues to be reported in a wide range. Parsinen has shown in his study that the near work and the short reading distance are significantly correlated to increased myopic progression. Beijing Eye Pediatric study also reveals that in a school children conducted study that the long duration of reading, short distance watching TV or computer, dim light illumination reading are significantly associated with the myopia. Now, the another factor is the undercorrection. So as we assume that in our practice, we undercorrect myopia, which is very wrong. Undercorrection of myopia will produce a myopic defocus during the distance viewing has been reported to produce an increase instead of decrease in the myopia progression. So as the study says that undercorrection of myopia will not decrease the progression, it will increase the progression. How? So two things are there in this particular research: myopic defocus and hyperopic defocus. Hyperopic defocus is that the image is fall just behind the retina, and in order to gain that particular image, the eyeball is going to be elongated, the axial length is going to be elongated. But in the myopic defocus, when it is not being elongated to achieve that particular area in the retinal plane to show the image, that will also increase the myopic progression, because the myopic progression is not only associated with the elongation of the axial length, but also with the accommodation. How? We will see in the later slides. So this is the study where the undercorrection of myopia enhances the rather than inhibits myopic progression. Chung et al. In the Vision Research 2002, in the 2-year of follow-up study, shows that undercorrected participants to 2040, approximately 0.75 diopter, the undercorrected group showed increased myopia and axial length compared to the fully corrected group. So this study reveals the same. Now we will see the different theories and progression of myopia. So we will go with the first one, accommodative lag theory. Second one, mechanical tension theory, in which there is a role of ciliary body and choroid. Third, concept of emmetropization, which is very new. And fourth, peripheral refraction. So most common accepted theories used to explain how myopia progresses is mechanical tension, peripheral refraction, and lag of accommodation. So we will start from lag of accommodation. High lag of accommodation. What is lag of accommodation? That means if someone wants to see a near object and plus 3 diopter of accommodation is required, but patient's eye will only provide 2.5 diopter of accommodation. So particularly that 0.5 of accommodation is lagging. That particular eye is not able to provide. So that is a lag of accommodation. So higher the lag of accommodation during near work will cause a foveal hyperopic defocus, which induces an abnormal axial length growth of the eye, leading to myopia. Myopes have a reduced accommodative response compared to the emmetropes. So treating a myopic children with plus lenses for near work will be very beneficial. For example, bifocal or a progressive addition spectacles, that is PAL lenses. So this is the picture of a bifocal lens where you can see in the near area, the near area is having an addition, where a progressive lens is having a distance intermediate and near zone, all of them in a single lens. So study, the correction of myopic evaluation trial, which is famously known as COMET study, had been take place where investigators enrolled 469 subjects aged from 6 to 11 with myopic prescription between minus 1.25 to 4.5 spherical equivalent. So the study is divided their participants into 2 groups. First group, which is a single vision distance correction, and second group is using the PAL lenses, that is the progressive addition lenses. So one arm of the study had a single vision distance correction, while the another has a PAL lenses with +2 add. So difference between these 2 lenses as a result showed 0.20 diopter at the end of 3 years. So at the end of 3 years, they only get 0.20 diopter, and higher treatment benefit to subgroup with accommodation, lag, and esophoria, and lower myopia. So there is another group which is called a subgroup in this particularly 469 subjects, that the patients who are having myopia along with lag of accommodation and esophoria. So the lower myopic category participants, or the participants which are having a myopia along with accommodative lag and esophoria, is having a greater treatment modality with this particular bifocal and PAL lenses. So study concludes that if a patient is suffering from myopia or a lower myopia and having accommodation lag and esophoria, PAL lenses and bifocal lenses is the best mode of treatment. So this is the picture of accommodative lag, where you can see the foveal hyperopic retinal blur resulting from reduced accommodative response at near. This particularly taken from the study of Yu et al. At 2016. Now the mechanical tension. So the eye responds to the transient changes in axial length following shorter periods of accommodation. So contraction of the ciliary muscle following the accommodation result in forward and inward pulling of the choroid. Ciliary choroidal tension restricts the equatorial growth. It decreases the circumference of the sclera, leading to more prolate shape and elongation of axial length. So this theory says the combination of an accommodation with the ciliary muscle, as the ciliary muscle need to contract while doing the accommodation, that will forward or inward pull the choroidal structure, and which will finally lead to the extension of sclera and the elongation of axial length. So this is how the schematic representation of the mechanical theory explained. So the ciliary muscle contraction in response to the accommodation, there will be an equatorial growth restriction leading to more prolate eye shape, which finally leads to axial elongation, which will lead to myopia. So now the third factor is the emmetropization. So emmetropization is a very new thing where we need to understand that the visual stimulus, which is a defocus, comes in while the patient is not able to focus it, then it will give a retinal responses, and that particular retinal responses will communication with the sclera, which will initiate the remodeling of the sclera, and there will be a creep rate in the fibrous tissue of the sclera. That means the extendability, which will be going to be take place in this particular fifth stage. Sixth stage is the final stage where there will be an elongation of the axial length, which will leads to myopic progression. Here also accommodation plays a role. If accommodation comes in action, that will also leads to a myopic progression because of the accommodative fatigue or a lag of accommodation. Now the third one is the peripheral refraction, where a peripheral hyperopic defocus has been suggested to play a significant role in the development of myopia. So while we are doing the retinoscopy, we are just neutralizing the central retina, the foveal retinal plane. But what about the peripheral retina? What about the peripheral refraction? So that will also lead to a myopia. So that is the main reason what we says that whatever we are giving the treatment to the patient in form of a spectacle, after full correction of myopia patient, how patient will again progress to a myopia after a year or after 2 years. So you can see a follow-up of 1 or 2 year patient where you have corrected the myopia, but after that when he or she come to your clinic in a future, the amount of refractive error or myopia is increased. So it's a very surprising thing for the clinician because of the not considering the peripheral refraction in focus. So this is how we need to understand about the importance of peripheral refraction, which is considered by the specialized contact lenses, which is an ortho-K lenses or CRT lenses, and multifocal soft contact lenses. So this is the schematic presentation where you can see that the central retina is having a focus image, but what about the peripheral area? That peripheral area will cause myopic defocus and hyperopic defocus, which will finally leads to increase in the axial length and myopic progression. So that is what I'm saying, that why does myopia progress even after the correction? So that is the main reason here. Now, how to control myopia? Myopia control can be taken place by lifestyle modification, corneal reshaping, multifocal lenses, medication eye drops, and multifocal spectacles. Basically, the three major factors or measures that should be taken to control the myopia: environmental modification, spectacle and contact lenses, pharmacological therapies. In environmental modification, outdoor activity is very important. In a day sunlight activities like outdoor games, cocoa, and a use of amber filters while doing the display screen activities. Second one is the spectacle and contact lenses, where bifocal and multifocal glasses and contact lenses are very recommended. Ortho-K lenses is specialized lenses to control the myopic progression. And the MyoVision by Zeiss is a specialized spectacle which will control the myopic progression. Now there is one study based on this particular treatment modality of myopic progression with a spectacle or a contact lenses, that the contact lens and the myopia progression study, which is a clamp study, which shows a rigid contact lenses, particularly their work So CLAMP study in 2004 found that providing children with alignment fit RGP, that is a rigid gas permeable contact lenses, flattened their corneal curvature by about 0.50 diopter within 2 months. Children who were RGP for 3 years had corneas that returned to the baseline curvature. So, but soft contact lens wearer cornea steepened 0.13 diopter beyond baseline. So that particularly RGP or soft contact lenses will only give you a temporary solution. After that, maybe it will return to their baseline curvature. Axial length elongation 0.81 mm for RGP contact lens group and 0.76 for the soft contact lens group. So this is the study data which is showing here. Now, the Adolescent and the Child Health Initiative to encourage the vision empowerment ACHIEVE study found that the soft contact lens do not cause a clinical relevant increase in myopia. So that particularly shows that ACHIEVE study that soft contact lens will also not very helpful for for the controlation of the myopia. And the pharmacological therapies, the antimuscarine agents, atropine 0.01%, pyrazapine, dopamine that prevent the myopic shift in the ganglion retinal cells. And this particularly picture shows that P is less than 0.001, that is a clinical significance, where after the using of atropine 0.01%, the dilation of pupil from 4.7 mm to the 5.5 mm. So the amount of pupillary size is increasing, which will definitely reduce the myopia progression. So the take-home message of the session: myopia should never be under or over-corrected. It should be optimum corrected. Glasses should not be prescribed in the process of emmetropization. It can lead to a myopia progression, especially if you are handling the pediatric age group patients. Lifestyle modification can slower the rate of myopia progression. Definitely, the lifestyle modification, that means the outdoor activity, games, outdoor works in the dark night, or the you can say in the dim illumination reading work should be prohibited. That particularly lifestyle modification in respect to a food which will also provide nutrients, proteins to the human body, will reduce the progression of myopia. So these 3 important points is a take-home message. So hope you understood particularly the myopia and the myopia progression and control. So here are the references. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your patient listening.